G'day. I don't know if that music's picking up. Someone will tell me eventually if I'm messing things up, but it's me, Lime. It has been 10,000 years since I've actually cast an NGS game, it feels like. But really, it's only been basically 9 weeks. To those who don't know me, I am Limebus. I appear every now and again. Apparently, I've decided to appear during playoffs. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the series. It should be a good one. Apparently the teams do know each other fairly well. They've played together a lot. They used to scrim a lot. Wait a minute, I have a whole nother scene I can go to. My lighting in this room is shit. I'm still gonna go to it anyway. Hi. It's me, Lime. I'm sitting in the dark apparently because that is what I do. But no, I'm looking forward to this series. These teams, as I put on the screen, have played a couple of times this season. Division E only had 6 teams this season, so it was a double round robin. Both teams played each other twice. It's been 2-1 each time. However, the team on the right has been favoured. So while Habitual Line Steppers is coming into this as seed 3, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are at a disadvantage. It very much could well be going in the way of Habitual Line Steppers. Because, well, they are the ones who are on the right side. So, I do kind of say that with a sad thing. I put down like, oh, Ultrac, they've played it each time. It's gone both ways. And then they banned out Ultrac. So, we can blame really Aggro Elite Ghoul Elites for banning out that map. But instead, we are going to get a run back of Towers of Doom. This map apparently was banned at some point by one of the teams. I can double check that because I actually have everything up. No, it wasn't. I'm being dumb. But we are going to get into things anyway, because as you hear Towers of Doom, that means the draft has started. Let's kick off into it and see what... Man, that's a really orange light on my face. What on earth? Alright, let's see how this goes. It's been a while since I've solo casted, so this is definitely going to be a interesting time. Usually I'm casting with someone else, because I'm casting a lot on GGS, Ghost Gang Squad. Which is happening at the same time today, but I'm like, you know what? I'm here for NGS. Let's get NGS rolling. But I did forget to mention at the time, we have had our map bans and drafts. This is a best of 5. And we did see that it is going to be Cursed Hollow and Ultrac banned out by really aggro elite ghouls. And Habitual Line Steppers are banning out Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis Holdout. And we do actually see that it is going to be a first ban on the Anduin, which is not the most popular of bans. But it is definitely a ban nonetheless. Actually, no, it's a pretty good ban, all considering that it is a hero that can bail people out a lot. Things such as Garrosh, things such as Stitches. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, we do see a Dahaka ban, which, in all fair as well, is going to be a... They ban out the Stitches as well? That's an interesting one. Samurai! Not exactly a Samurai map, but g'day Mockery, hope you're doing well. And also, hi all of Twitch chat. I know it's been a while since my face has been seen, but as we did predict, it was the Anduin ban, so we do see a Garrosh first pick. Immediately answered by a Tigers. Immediately be like, no. Not gonna let him have his fun. So let's see what happens after that. And Rhaegar, so getting their healer off first. They know tanks aren't really going to change too much. There's potentially just one more tank ban that will happen. But we'll have to see where we go after this. So, Garrosh does lead to some aggressive starts. I would love to see some good blow-up after it, some good CC follow-up. We did get rid of things such as Anduin, so we are going to have to go other routes. Chromie, good one. Drop the Slowing Sands down. Stukov as well can definitely be a hell of a thing to get brought into if Turtwig is going to be fast enough on those silencers. Right, third ban. Final bans for each of these teams for this map. Maybe I need to turn my light on. This fat talking here. Chat, I'm going to take my headset off. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to get quiet. But it is what it is. So we do see Sonya is going to be banned out. That is a very good choice in the grand scheme of things. But it's not what I'd call a good double soaker specifically on this map. It does feel like a stranger one to ban out, in fact. But we do see Junkrat is going to be banned as well. Alright. Leoric, that's a good double soaker. You see nothing but perfection from Rage, otherwise I'll be disappointed in him. Well, heavens, we'll have to see. Anubrak Leoric is a pretty solid lineup. Leoric pretty good at double soaking. Anubarak can be an absolute menace, and I'd love to see if they utilize that cocoon effectively. Or, if they go Locust Swarm, I will judge them relentlessly. So either way, it's a win for me. I say this out of endemic just because I have a friend who will do nothing but go the... I've immediately one word, Locust Swarm. And they do... Oh my god, Tracer, what the hell? Hold up. Yeah, Locust Swarm. Blaze Tracer. Blaze, love it. Double Soaker extraordinaire. Blaze. Best offlane of the game, in my opinion. And actually a fair few people's opinions. And then Tracer routing things out is definitely a strange one to say the least. It can kite Anubrak pretty well, but its damage, her damage may be a bit low in the grand scheme of things. We'll have to see that one. And what do we have? Mockery with the can't flashback. That's a good CCS name. But we do see the Zebra going to round things out, which on this map is a little bit stranger, because typically you're not going to be having the Zebra double soak. So unless we see like a weird like Leoric stays top and we get the 4-man rotate, it is going to be a questionable one for Sun Roku. But if it hit the Q, hey, it works. I'm such a Locust Swarm advocate in Storm League at no.com. Yeah, that's the thing. Storm League, it can be great. Quick match, just random people. It can honestly do well. However, in competitive, when you do have... I can say that Tracer is pretty good at ripping Cocoon apart, so take that for what you will. I should really have changed it over to this. I'm going to change it back basically immediately. I'm just doing this for my own sanity at this point. But here you can see the map banned and the map picked. We do know the map picked. For those who missed it, those are going to be the map bans. Book it. Equals it. What? Okay. There's actually more wash than... Grace will equal to 6 oils. Not real here. Okay, I have no clue what it means. Oh! Can I be... Oh, you can indeed. I don't know if I can do that one. I'm not that good at this, all this streaming stuff sometimes, which is weird considering what I'm doing right now, but let's get into it. I should have asked someone to set a prediction, because I could do it myself in a few moments. So on one side, we do see really Aggro Ghoul Elites go with Urban Punk on the Leoric. Honey Badger is going to be on that Anubrak. Sun Roku is going to be on the Nazebo, Lag Wagon on the Rhaegar, and K4K on the Tychus. On the other side of things, we are going to see no more heroes on the Tracer. Boomer APN, Chromie. Peldor is going to be on that Blaze. Veyron, Garrosh, and rounding things out is going to be Turtwig on the Stukov. Right. The Tracer is a known quantity. Is that a good or a bad thing, Pat? But we are going to have relatively standard builds, by the way. We're going to see it's Nazebo going Spider build. Not much to say about that. It can be pretty damaging in the late game. On the other side of things, Chromie going Q is definitely a more interesting choice. And we do see that it is going to be Tracer going extended. Yeah, it's extended basic tech range. Known for farming. I like the confidence Mockery has. Honey Badger is just going to step on untested. Nice zombie wall around Veyron, and we do see the Silence Puddle going underneath, but Tychus is going to start unloading that minigun into, well, Garrosh. Also, what? What are we doing here? You may be right, that is farming, just farming minions as opposed to waves. But we do see that it is going to be a pretty good first push now for really Aggro Ghoul Elites. They are up at the gates already. You got to be a bit careful though. Garrosh is someone you have to be a little bit wary of. You don't want to pester him too much. Are we going to get an early evade, or are we just going to do our own camps is the question. Nope, just own camps. But considering how late they start this may not be great. Anubrak went mid, so it's not the best. What is happening up here? Okay. I did hear that the creepy hand did just leash, so if Peldor ever gets hit by that, he needs to try and break it as much as possible. Pulse Bomb comes out. I'm just watching this health bar of Peldor. That's not good. Nope. Right, we're going to have to keep an eye on that offlane, because that's a bit of bullying coming out onto that Blaze. Because while I say he is one of the best offlaners at the moment, he can still very much get bullied by heroes by Leoric, because unfortunately, the scent damage and draining of health goes really well into Blaze, considering how big his health pool is. He is still technically classified as a tank at the end of the day. Oh my god, I don't... It's interesting to see a 1-1-3. Also, this tower has now gone down. Boomer stepping up, getting a few orders in. And that is going to be first ultra phase being called, being two top and the 1 bottom. I imagine Leoric is about to get very annoyed in the grand scheme of things. Good toss, however, Honey Badger did have Burrow Charge to get out. No, if I was Tracer, this is like the one time I'm not coming down. Just stay up here and annoy Leoric for 10 years. Alright, we'll see how this goes. So we do see it is just going to be top being traded. We'll see if they run down afterwards. Burrow Charge, not quite finding Tracer. Tracer still pushes E anyway, a little bit of panic there. Toss of a Nubrak into the Silence Puddle, but it is just going to be... It is actually Silence Build to be fair, but we do see it's going to be physical armor from Stukov, which I'm not a fan of into the Tychus in all honesty. Not a fan of the physical armor into this, so Stukov's healing maybe a little to be desired this game. And we do see that it has been a little bit of struggle so far as Veyron is getting pested. No More Heroes is going to have to rotate down, like go around the long way. But we can see top ultras were traded. And Leoric and Blaze are now counter-soaking each other. Oh yeah, also another good point is, yeah, Blaze does like using trait. Unfortunately, trait is armor. Leoric ignores armor, does percent damage. It's not ideal for Blaze nonetheless. And Trace is going back to the middle lane. Alright, let's cut it back over here. Because I don't know why we have paused. I'm just going to throw it back here. Really, I should throw it to my face, but I keep forgetting that camera's here. Actually, how has the light helped? Did turning on the light help? More or less? Cool. We'll throw it back over to Vivian. I love seeing it just flickered with the camera before it even got to me. It's a pretty even start so far. I'm not entirely sure why they're having Tracer stay mid so much. It is very much a strange way to do this. I'd understand more if they're trying to stop Leoric from mounting, but considering that she's just getting mid soak and Blaze is not really trying to double soak all that effectively, it's not great. We'll have to see how that strat continues, but it looks like we will be getting back into things in a few moments. Considering this countdown started from 99, not sure about it. 3, 2, 1, there we go. Alright. Donald's being picked. Chromie only has 13 sand stacks, by the way. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of this one recently, considering what buffs we've seen. But Veyron absolutely getting peppered down. And unfortunately, again, Turtwig just doesn't have the damage, the healing to keep up with it this time. And unfortunately, I do think it's a little bit down to that level 4, because while Bionic Armor can be good, into a Tychus who has minigun, not as good. And now we see big push happening here. And this is what I mean by, I've not been the biggest fan by Tracer staying in that mid lane for soak. Because while she can do pretty well into a lot of these heroes, and Nazebo would struggle to hit her, Tychus can get outranged by her, considering she has picked up the level 1 range extension, and Tychus has not. It does feel like a, almost a waste to have her just staying soaking mid and running a 1-1-3. If you're going to do that, I'd much rather see a stronger auto attacker or a split pusher in that mid lane, such as Zagara, such as, I don't know, Greymane, any of those kind of strong auto attack heroes who can still get out at a moment's notice, or at least do everything safely, would be much better. But great toss of the Sun Roku, and that's what I meant by the slowing stance of the Chromie. That's what I wanted to see. Slowing stance, following up on toss, and that was a very good kill confirmed. Nope. I hear things happening up top. Great charge by Blaze. No More Heroes is going to stay the pestering, but all while we're happening down here, we did see bottom gets capped by actually the blue team. Sorry that I missed that one off camera. However, mid is found by red. It is a few points difference at this point, because this bottom tower was captured by really aggro elite Ghoul elites, damn it. And we're going to see Sappers walk in. 1, 2. Yeah. Big early lead for really aggro Ghoul elites. However, this map is not as concerning because, well, it is Towers of Doom. Of all maps to go late, this is definitely one of the maps of all time to go late. Oh my god, they're struggling to even walk these sappers in this short distance to this tower. We can see that Commodore Odin was, not Commodore Odin, Dragon Laser Drill was dropped. And this one Sapper may just die on its way through. Does actually find the building. So they're slowly chipping this back down. Unfortunately, Krubby doing. I'm anti-Scrom. Did I really type Scrom instead of Scrum? That's a later B problem. Oh, Roku is being pestered from behind. Tracer is going to use Recall and get on out of there. Right, where's OBS? Ah, I have played Scrom partners. You know what? That's on you for being anti-Scrom there, Pat. I think that's not very cool of you. Alright, Totem comes down. We do see double stun onto Garrosh. Garrosh pops the unstop. Turtwig also uses those flailing swipes, and we do see them get on out. But as we are touching on the heroics, let's discuss what we have else as well. We did see that the Commandeer Odin... I'm too used to saying Commandeer Odin. Draken Laser Drill came out, but we do also see that it is going to be Ancestral Healing, Entomb, Gargantuan, and it's going to be the Cocoon on the other. I think I said Cocoon twice now. No, Entomb, Cocoon, both rhyme. On the other side of things, we are going to see a Was Slowing Sands, Bunker, Flailing Swipes, Warlord's Challenge, and it is going to be Quantum Spike, I believe that one is. Sticky Bomb, never mind, I was wrong. Quantum Spike is far more blue. Blaze getting stunned just before they get it in there, and actually they wanted to get Son Roku out, but stopped Son Roku from channeling, but weren't able to. Turtwig in a rough spot. Veyron also. We can see some bunker dancing. We can actually see Stukov takes out the Leoric with a big old auto attack. Peldor is full now from the Zebo. All while there is a Draken Laser Drill underneath trying to get health down. There is now 3 kills to 1 in favor of the side of Habitual Line Steppers, but there is still fighting going on. Turtwig, unfortunately, in an awkward position, does get stunned, but team isn't too far away. We see Slowing Sands get dropped. We see Veyron throwing Turtwig, and now Urban Punk really wants to get Veyron, but Veyron did still have a toss out. There is a 30-second delay. Yes, there will always be a 30-second delay for live casts, unfortunately. As much as I'm a fan of doing things one-to-one, such as in GGS, such as in replays, can't necessarily do that when it is a live cast and we are in, especially if we're in playoffs, because, well, funnily enough, we don't want any cheating to even possibly occur. So unfortunately, the 30-second delay has to be in. The Tracer is going to force Leoric off the map, and even though both teams got their own alters, because that bottom fort has only just been recaptured by the side of Habitual Line Steppers, means that, well, it's not a great time for them. They weren't able to get as many shots, I should say. Honey Badger is stepping on, trying to see what they can get. Double slam, great silence, great taunt. That's exactly what you want to see if you are fans of Habitual Line Steppers. K4K and Son Roku, the only ones left. I just want to check a bot. I'm going to be honest, this, unfortunately, while I am on the board, I'm not the one who actively manages the channel. I would have to take that up with a one of the people who do keep this in check, and unfortunately, not me. I don't think there's even a caster's command today, or if it is, it's probably not my name. Oh, Son Roku's been found. That's very unfortunate for Son Roku, who did actually sneak. No, they didn't sneak bottom, but they are going to die for their positioning, which is really unfortunate if you're them. Now, Honey Badger is going to step up. We do see the team slowly walking back in. No, Chromie does make it so they can't blow up people as easily. But yeah, that was such a good objective phase for the side Habitual Line Steppers. Yet they are still 7 shots behind. Grenade coming out. I'm just watching a laser drill just be used on the sappers, which is wild. But hey, if it works, it works. And I do find it interesting that we do see laser drill picked up, considering it is normally Commandeer Odin. Commandeer Odin does let you get pretty good poke here, but I'm guessing it is very much for the reason that... Speaking of NGS, technically I'm an option, Mockery, I'll be honest with you. Or actually, send everything to Born to Shine. Born to Shine loves that. Peldor is going to get double stun. Does charge out, getting out in time. I did not realize we have Fuel Leak. I've never been a fan of Fuel Leak for Blaze. Sure, it could add a lot of extra oil around, but considering you have things such as Tychus around, I would have loved to have seen the nanomachine coding? Yeah, nanomachine coding at level 7, just because that would have allowed the auto attacks to slow down, and well, it would have mean that your Garrosh can live a little bit longer, that Blaze can get a little bit longer in these periods, because well, really the biggest threat at present is going to be the Tychus. And saying that Nazebo is doing well in his own right. We see top auto speed trader, we just see a wonderful toss Garrosh combo to kill the Rhaegar, and because Rhaegar was stuck in the silence battle the whole time, they aren't able to get Ancestral off, and unfortunately, that's pretty dang bad if your main team fight tool to make sure you guys are going to live through it, or even you're going to live through it, is going to be the Ancestral healing. We see Odin being... Laser Drill. I'm too used to saying Odin. In my head, I'm like, Odin! No. We see Laser Drill is going to get popped. No More Heroes is going to slowly pepper it down, but yeah. We are getting in a position now where Tracer, late game hero, is starting to really pick up. Garrosh does start to fall off here at this point, but that should be made up by the fact they have a Tracer, by the fact they have Chromie, who is nearly fully scaled. Definitely not a build you see typically recently, especially since Slowing Sands has once again hit popularity. We've seen a lot of... I'm trying to remember the talent name. A proper greeting? The level 7 that cares about... 5, I guess. That cares about slow targets. Oh, Ouija, g'day. Hope you're doing well. Bummer Fries, welcome in as well. Saying let's go HLS. And now we see that Blaze is going to need to get out into their bunker. Great bunker. Dodges the combo. But unfortunately, they're not going to dodge for body blocks. And that is going to be the first time Blaze goes down. And a very quick tower take for the side of really aggro Ghoul elites. But Huntline? Habitual line steppers. You can tell I've started like thinking about, like, I've got work stuff in my head. I'm like, Huntline. I'm like, that's just a work thing at this point. But no. Good aggression there. Getting the Blaze out now is great, but I'm not a fan of getting boss here. It does just... Sure, you're getting 4 shots into the core, but you lose a lot of momentum and map pressure for it. And now we can see that while they are getting mid, Chromie is just going to channel bot in time before this is even flipped, so it is still going to be 4 shots in. No, barely afterwards. Oh, that was way too close. I am that's very unfortunate for the side of Habitual line steppers. But now I think really aggro Ghoul elites have just gone into, we are just going to take every building mode, and we can see that they have gone top middle bot, taken bot in a very fast time as well, and now they're doubling back for their own fort here. Well, keep here at this point, because at 12-minute mark, tunnels open, towers and forts get upgraded. Well, yeah, forts get upgraded to keeps, and they get that little bit more health and damage. Let the minion wave walk in, don't seek for minion wave. But Chromie is going to go piercing sand side note, and 20s are found first for the side of Habitual line steppers. We do see it's piercing sands. We see burn notice on the Blaze, which, as much as I like to go, it's not a talent we see picked very often. I will admit I'm guilty of picking it as well, but that's mainly because I did forget for a while that bunker does get 50 armor, but my team does not know how to step in a bunker to save their lives. But no, we are going to see fight break out. We are going to see it is going to be Silence to drop directly onto Garrosh. Garrosh goes down before anything can matter. We can see it is going to be a lot being pushed, but Honey Badge is going getting low. No More Heroes really wants to kill, but it is going to be that Farseer's Blessing healing everyone back up. Big Blaze charge, finding just Son Roku, however. Peldor needing to drop the bunker is still going to be in a rough spot. Well, would not have gone down that side of the bunker, but hey, that's what Peldor decided to do, so be it. And we are going to see Sappers are taken out slowly. But yeah, things not, as I was going to say, is Control Chaos from the Stukov, Warlord's Challenge from... No, we see... I can't even remember what this one's called. Death Wish from Garrosh, interesting. And it is going to be Tracer's Recall Teller. Big Slap, which is also Total Recall, which is for heal, from what I recall. I was like, I remember it's for heal, but I can't remember what else it does. The other side of things, it is going to be focusing diodes on the Draken Laser Drill. Farseer's Blessing, as we said, Silence and Tomb. Nazebo not having a level 20 for a little bit still, and rewind on Anubrak. Like, it may not matter at this point, just because there are only 3 shots left on the core of Habitual line steppers. They're in a rough spot. They do at least get bottom back in their favor. But now, once again, the red team has to be careful. Because, well, if anything happens like last map, like the very top here, if Peldor gets caught out and dies, we can just see that tidal wave of forts being lost in favor of really aggro Ghoul's elites. I'm bad at Ghoul elites. Did I have an extra S? I think I did. But yeah. That building's down immediately. Once again, we're seeing it being traded. Oh, Blaze, actually correct. Blaze going up. Because these sappers are now a win con. And I think the red team may just be realizing this now. As you see, no more heroes backs up. We see a siege still going on, but now Blaze is going to need drop bunker. And if all three of these step in, that's game. Blaze knows he can't step back up. No more hero steps up to try to stop the sappers. 1, 2, 3, that's game. First game of the series goes over to the side of really aggro Ghoul elites. Really unfortunate way for that one to end. They just weren't quite there in time. Right. Tracer did do a lot of hero damage. 43,000 highest in the game. Well, by 5k actually is not that high, much higher in the grand scheme of things. Chromie 38,000, Venet's Tychus and Azebo respectively. But the thing about what the side of really aggro Ghoul elites were running is they were absolutely shredding those buildings. There is no two ways about it. So it's absolutely wonderful to see just what they could... Wait, update map score before I forget. There. So yeah. While I did judge the Nazebo, and I still kind of do question at least for level 20, considering we weren't quite there. I think we did see that Nazebo was at around 150 stacks by the end, going into level 21, 22. It did still work. Nazebo Spider build does have a lot of potential damage, especially if you're getting on just one person. That, along with Tigers, with those focusing dios, does do a lot. Other things we need to talk about quickly is just Leoric 138,000 K siege compared to Blaze's 147,000. However, Leoric did have more soak than Blaze with 24k to 22k respectively. And healers also very close to each other in grand scheme of things. 50k Stukov, 55k Rhaegar. And the Garage team was actually a bit scary for a bit. That mid game, they like 13 to 18, even 13 to 18. They had some very good fights. Just unfortunately, with how the damage of really aggro Ghoul elites was set up, it was really hard to how could a singular wolf have a team? Pat, I have no clue what you're on about it. So alright, yeah, no, I get it now. But yeah, as I say, despite them not having the hero damage that we see on the other side, they have such focused hero damage compared to things such as Krobby, that anyone who did get stuck with Inubrak, getting that double stun, getting that chain CC'd, did just kind of die. To quickly look at talents as well before we go back to my face, we are going to see that relatively standard builds along the way. A bit strange, we do see Tychus going Inver Rhythm and the Q talent, and the laser drills, a bit strange. Chromie, Q build we haven't seen being meta for a little bit now, especially since the changes to her level 1, that I'm struggling to remember the name of currently, which is strange because I should know what it is at this point. I feel like I'm getting pings because I accidentally went streaming. I accidentally started stream on Plasty's channel because I forgot to change the stream key over to the one I'm doing now. Yeah, oops, awkward. So yeah, most sounds. Oh yeah, and the other thing I really want to point out is Death Wish. It is not often you see Death Wish at all, to the point where most people do forget what we're playing. So this is a best of 5, so first to 3 wins. I should really have put that on the screen over here. I'll do it before I change back over. Where's OBS? There's OBS. Head. Properties. Enter. Best of 5. Okay. I'll put it back to my, not lovely face. My face that kind of exists. So, considering the maps we've seen by now, I'm not exactly sure which way we're going to be going next. My understanding is... Heck, we may see Dragonshire picked up by... We may see map pick picked up by, Habitual Line Steppers and take us to something such as Dragonshire. That didn't go in their favour, so maybe we're going to see something more along the lines of Tomb of the Spider Queen, as that is also a very good choice. I'm bring up yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen is available, but no, we are actually going to Volskaya. Not something I do experience a lot, but it is going to be Volskaya nonetheless. Which, last time we went to this map, it was Habitual Line Steppers getting the win, and I am going to mark it over this, as we'll just have a quick look at that map view screen. Looks like one team is ready. I'm going to say casters are ready. Well, caster... I'm just saying casters are ready. No, it's just me for once. Caster ready. Catter ready, sure. That's close enough. And I haven't changed it to being scrim, so it is still scrom. So, you're welcome for that, Pat. Oh, I love me a good water. Let me mute myself if I drink more, because I forget just how much talking by myself is. There we go, let's get into Volskaya and see how this one goes, shall we? What has the draft got for us? Instant Samurai ban. As someone who enjoys, like, dabbling in Samurai every now and again, I get it. I do like the Samurai. Alright, let's open up the match link and have a look at what's happened here in the past. Habitual Line Steppers did pick up the Samurai here last time, so it absolutely makes sense. Once again, we see Anduin being banned out. Which, if you're wanting to do Garrosh, sure, but if the really Aggro Ghoul let's just ban out Garrosh, that's difficult. And we see Sergeant Hammer getting banned out, which you don't see often anymore. You don't see very often, especially in these... Well, let me rephrase. You don't see that ban often at all. You don't see Hammer picked very often either, especially in the not even lower divisions, all the way up to like Div B. I think it's a lesser picked hero, but some people in Heroic, I believe, absolutely are menaces with that Sergeant Hammer. Stitches, meanwhile, banned out the other side, so we are sticking strong for Habitual Line Steppers. They're not wanting to give over Stitches, not wanting to give over Anduin, and we see Oriole first picked. Ooh, that's a good start to the draft. I do like to see that one. Especially if I can get something such as Vala, something such as any good kind of hypercarry type character can do well. Meanwhile, Garrosh Sylvanas picked up by the side of Habitual Line Steppers. Next to, are we just going to see Tychus again? Junkrat, okay. And Sonya. Okay, Junkrat Sonya, not bad. Sonya was banned out last time, but it was banned out by really Aggro Ghoul Elite, so I'm not sure about that pickup. We'll have to see how well Urban Punk does do with Sonya. Alright, what are we going to see? Anubrak banned out right at the end. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Honey Badger did do very well on the Anubrak. May as well get rid of it, ban it out now. Make sure that it can't really stick around all that much. Because Anubrak, I think they've done fairly well with this season, if I recall correctly. I say opening up my handy dandy thing I've had open next to me, yeah. Well, at least Anubrak is a hell of a comfort pick. 27 times. And yeah, I can see now that Anduin's been picked 42 times for the side of really Aggro Ghoul Elites. So, I think I'm starting to understand why that one is going to be for one getting banned. You see Joanna picked up. Still a pretty solid front line. I wouldn't say it was quite there. People have learnt how to move around her and isn't quite the menace that it once was. On the other side, I forgot to mention Isleorc and Tyrande picked up. Tyrande may have a little bit light healing. We'll have to see what Son Roku picks, which is the Vala, which I did kind of say, Vala Oriole, hell of a thing to see. lo and behold, there it is. Right, what is going to be the last pick? No more heroes, what are you thinking? Is it Tracer again? I wouldn't be so much of a fan as Tracer considering we already have Sylvanas. Maybe a mage. I don't know quite each player's hero pool. My quote, research, end quote, wasn't that extensive. Chromie. Do we just change, do we switch heroes, or is it just both DPSs are kind of comfortable on the Chromie? Nope, we do see the damage getting switched up. I don't know. Both these drafts can do very well. We both have very similar roles from the frontliners, where Sonya has Leap, Leoric has Entomb. Sonya is good at holding space, can punish anyone for stepping up, very much the same for Garrosh. The question comes down to the kind of damage, and as well as the Oriole Tyrande, and seeing what each of them can do with this. Alright, let's just go back to that map screen while we load it. Oh god, why does my game just throw up like a warning symbol? That's never promising. Oh well, let's just hope that doesn't go wrong. Awesome, man, I need to get a new... Side tangent, I need to get a new office chair so badly. Like, this one is breaking. I have one behind me, but it's specifically used for work because it is nowhere near as comfy as this, like, old dinged up one. So I'm gonna have to find, like, a nice comfy old dinged up one. But let's get into the game, shall we, and introduce to us our teams. So, on the side of Habitual Line Steppers, we have No More Heroes playing Sylvanas. Turtwig is going to be on Tyrande. Peldor on the Leoric. Boomer APM is going to be on that Chromie. Right, is going to be Veyron on the Garrosh. On the other side of things, we do see Nemesis on the... What's her name? That's not even her. That's a Junkrat. Honey Badger is going to be on Joanna. Son Roku on the Vala. K4K Oriole, and right, it's going to be Urban Punk on the Sonya. Also, this is a very small rotation to let you do this. Very surprised we do even see it happen. But we do see Top Tower is going to go down, so that is a beautiful start. But Turtwig is going to get concussion to mind. Veyron, excellent toss. But is Veyron going to go down for it now is the question. Girls, let's be careful with the throw. Don't throw your enemies into Chromie. Yeah, unfortunately we did see that a couple of times last game, so going to be a bit early. They both play Sylv, that's why they pick it early. Oh, okay, makes sense. So they're just comfortable switching it up. And Boomer APM gets tossed outwards. Big concussion. Big hit. Big stunner over here. But we do see that it is going to be Sans just being tossed in the general direction of everyone. Oh, that's Scamp falling into place. And once again, we do see its Q Chromie getting stacked up. We actually see overwhelming affliction from Sylvanas. Actually seeing them stat into that slow, that percent damage. Nice to see it picked up actually, because more often than not you do see Q build, or if you're unfortunate like me, you see your allies in Storm League get 12 stacks of W build all game and you want to cry. But now we do see splitting up for camps. I like the camp discipline a bit better for the side of Habitual Line Steppers this game. I like them both on it. But meanwhile, Vala Oriole getting top. I'd say this one is a bit early to get now, just purely because, well, it is now going to be answerable. I like to see that one come out much closer to the actual objective time itself, just because it means you are usually able to get some free percentage on the objective, because someone needs to go and deal with that camp in the opposite, in that top lane. Leoric and all having grand old time. Is Peldor a Blaze player? I didn't actually see Blaze picked all that often now that I think about it. Nope. I know Blaze was picked last game, but I feel like... Oh, it's 12. Oh. Oh, no. You ever just look at a number and go, that's not a good number. Oh, great toss there by Veyron, and that's Honey Badger going down. Turtwig didn't quite get the stun there, or the stack from it. But, hey, a Joanna kill is excellent even at this time. And now we can clear that camp relatively freely. And I'd like to see what push Habitual Line Steppers can get done with that camp. And I've lost Twitch chat. There's Twitch chat. Sorry about losing you, everyone. But right, we do see it is going to be Veyron once again stepping aggressively. Son Roku sees him for a moment, goes, no thanks. Gonna go around the long way. No more heroes doing what they can to get more of that gate down. K4K also sees Veyron and goes, no, don't want that. We're getting a very strong theme of stay away from the stinky. The stinky, of course, being Garrosh. You're right. Triggerlov Terminal online. Turtwig does step on. They're having a little free time. They're just standing on the objective. They're safe, minding their own business. It's not going to be safe for long because we can see... Well, at least for a little bit, because you can see blue team is going to be doing this. Oh, Varen, can you step on? Nope, Varen is a little bit too scared to step on, unfortunately. I think could have, even through the trap, just pop unstop and walk at them. But there is that concussion mine on there, which makes things a bit harder. Oh, Chromie eats it. Also, Chromie can put Hourglass in the trap to trigger it as well. So there is a little bit of counterplay to how that trap works. Oh, Garrosh tosses Son Roku right as they got whipped. It was a hell of a weird looking interaction, but it does kind of make sense. And I'm kind of sad we don't see Merc Queen. This is one of the maps. Merc Queen is great on for Sylvanas. Just, it does empower the turrets. Those turrets do add up the damage significantly. Position can still be good. It does help with these pushes when objective is going and you're not really actively doing anything. Nice stuff by Varen. And normal heroes just peppering in what damage they can. Oh, Chromie. Need a little bit more stacking from Chromie going on here, but Boomer will... I believe in Boomer. Boomer will pick that up soon enough. And Joanna, meanwhile, is going Sins Exposed. Into Tyrande, that could be a hell of a thing. That's a long cooldown for the auto-attacking Night Elf. And their turret gets dropped. You do see Toss of the Sun Roku. Unstop being popped. Varen gets launched out, however, by Nemesis. Nemesis, well, acting as the 6th player for the red team. But unfortunately, there's not going to be too much more happening as objective is going to find its way over to the side of really aggro Ghoul elites. I need to get rid of that ES. It is bugging me. There we go. Fixed. Hero slain. Yeah, Oriole went down. I was looking away for slightly too long. But Chromie is using this time to start getting stacked. We have seen 5 extra stacks already hit through this objective phase. And now we're looking to see if we can get aggressive on the mech. I'd like to see Garrosh step up now to see if we can get anyone as they pop out. But unfortunately, just with that route, they may take a while. That's the unstop being popped. That's the toss. That's the stun. That's Son Roku already using their roll, so they are going to go down as Garrosh finds the final blow. And Milan Leoric also being forced out bottom. Welcome in, Dimmy. Hope you're doing well. There's a North Islander. But no, we gotta see Honey Badger can take a decent amount. Black Arrows being used. They really want to make sure they get some value out of this Black Arrows now that someone's down. Mind Control finds Joanna straight into the Slowing Sands, into the Taunt. And that is a good combination of buttons for Habitual Lion Steppers right there. And now seeing how Garrosh uses that Warlord's challenge there, I'm starting to understand the Death Wish that was picked up just prior. That was picked up in that last game. Varen unfortunately missing that stun. We need to finish off that building. Varen's taking a lot. Big leap coming out. Only finding one, however. Varen, I'd like to see, yup, the toss out. And that is just out. Nemesis wants to get a good Riptide here. Only finds one. And now we see Podor just slapping some minions. And now for something completely different. Yeah. I think I've realized. Mokria, you are Habitual Line Steppers coach. Oh, Leoric, once again, hitting minions. So I do like both camps are being done at the same time, and now this top lane is a pretty good spot if you are the side of Habitual Line Steppers. The next objective being top, and the enemy, well, and really aggro Ghoul elites not having their own building there is going to be rough for them, especially no tap. But by no means is it the end of the world, but we do see Sylvanas going back up, helping out top. And Urban Punk making sure to play safe, getting on out. Oh, Sylvanas being walked at aggressively by Son Roku. But No More Heroes did have a little bit of foresight. They are going to make it out safely. Oh, they're going to make it out. Sorry, I should rephrase. They're going to make it out before anyone else rotates up. Joanna anchoring bush. No More Heroes wanting to see if they can do something about that. I've done 2 individual sessions of No More Heroes. Ah, okay, fair enough. Honey Badger stepping up. Shield Gear is just a random spot. I would love to have seen them shield wear this bush, but no, they did not. Assist ping coming out. Honey Badger. Correct toss. I did see the timeline where Varen was about to toss Honey Badger straight in. Downtown Mind Control. Great follow-up stun. Nemesis taking a lot. No More Heroes teleports in, and that is going to be Junkrat going down, but No More Heroes is now in a rough spot. Good toss by Veyron. And that is Nowhere Heroes out to safety. And I'd like to see, now's the time to do this. If you are the red team, Junkrat's not back yet. Sure, there's a concussion mine there, but you're not overly fussed about that. And Leoric now coming up, looking to see if potentially an entomb angle is going to happen. Pick the globe. Yep, globe. Yeah, nice. Let's zoom on out of it. And top objective is up. Big owl finding on Honey Badger. Oh. I know there's other things happening, but I do... This is my flaw. I play the offlane. I love looking at what the offlane is doing, even though I know it doesn't matter for shit half the time. I need a swear list. Big jump, big stunt, and we're fine. I mean, Flip, Mockery is famous in the hero scene. Yeah, Mockery definitely is. Oh, excellent 4-man Warlord's challenge there from Veyron. Has to throw Boomer AP in back a little bit. And unfortunately... with so many people, with no more heroes not being there, or Peldor not being there, the 4-man Warlord's challenge is for naught, and no one goes down for it, despite people getting oh so low. Into the face when you have to ban Stormy because your fave tank player is playing an NGS instead of partying with me. Well, Dimmy, join an NGS team. I don't know what to tell you. But we do see a nice double shield. Concussion Mine does push Veyron straight back in. Whip pushing them even further, and Veyron cannot catch a break. Unfortunately, Garrosh does not really known for their movement skills, and that is Garrosh going to go down. No more heroes is in trouble. Nope. They do get hit by a Riptide, but unfortunately for really aggro Ghoul elites, nothing pushing them back into the arms of the Joanna. Yes, Mockery definitely plays the hero scene. Or at least it's even a name I know, and I am bad with names to say the least, Ouija. Also, I hope you're doing well, Ouija. It's good to see you. Right, Son of Roku and Urban pushing it down once again. Peldor going, this feel... I'm a suffer HLS too. Well, never mind then. Good to hear that. Yeah, once again, we have really aggro Ghoul elites going to their game 1 strat of, what if we just hit a building? And yeah, half that building is gone in just an instant. And people are just kind of forgetting about this, which, to be fair, yeah, it's a shield whiff. That's not what you want to see, but Leap hitting 3, Mind Control hitting 1 as well in the middle of that. Veyron throwing Honey Badger out. Veyron getting a W. There's a Warlord's challenge. Vala vaulted in, but doesn't quite have his stuff. Meanwhile, Peldor just walking up there, gets rooted. Unfortunately, there's a silence route, so no one too. Capable K goes down. Punk really wants Chromie, but Chromie finds the kill. We see Joanna goes down, and just like that, 3 kills for the Habitual line steppers, where it didn't look very good after that 3-man leap into 3-man Storm of Vengeance. I think it's Storm of Vengeance at level 10 anyway. Which I never actually touched for level 10s. The only things we haven't really seen pops yet, well, we have seen pop but I haven't brought attention to, is going to be the Crystal Aegis on the side of really aggro Ghoul elites. On the other side of things, it is going to be the Starfall, which is the only thing I haven't really touched on either, which, weird, it's both the support ults that I haven't really mentioned. Oops, oh well. This poor objective is just, look at it. What's wrong with this objective, everyone? I know we're like, ooh, building. Oh god, I'm assumed in. But, lonely objective. Right, we are going to see it is very much Habitual line steppers trying to even out bottom, is the best way to put it. Why are we playing a melee still? Oh, great toss by Veyron, getting no more heroes out just as the leap started. And that is Peldor on the back foot as well, going that auto attack build. Mind Control going fishing. No luck there, no fishes caught. Big Entomb coming out, Peldor getting knocked in. And that is going to be the first blood of this fight, going over to really aggro Ghoul elites. Veyron getting a nice taunt. It is going to have to keep running. Sonya wanting to find that kill, and it is percent damage slam as well. So yeah, definitely will add up that damage. Baron gets pushed in. I liked that K4K went for the whip. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get there. And all for that, we now see Joanna going down. Ugh, that's unlucky to say the least. Oh, but all the while, you got this pushing at least. Decent whip top. Kind of nice. Kind of nice. Kind of helpful. But no, we are going to be looking at camps. We're going to see Leoric slowly float up top. They are back in just a few seconds. So yeah, I'd like to see them just mount up, get up there as soon as possible. You know, this is probably... Interv. the longest I've ever seen an objective get ignored. Or in Storming, the longest I've ever seen an objective get ignored in my life. I'm just half kind of expecting the teams forgot. Which, to be fair, it is kind of forgetful objective. It's not great. And it looks like the teams have honestly better push than the objective does in the first place anyway. But I think it's very funny to see just how ignored it is. So 16s are on life of both teams. 20s just around the corner for Habitual Line Steppers. I want to see them play a bit more passive. Unfortunately, Boomer was stuck in an awkward spot right as my mouse decided to act up. Nice toss by Varen. We do see everyone is on back pedal. Riptire gets to. Stun arrow comes down. Doesn't find anyone, but it was enough of a deterrent where red team was stopped getting chased. And now we put wave. Uh-oh. Good work, Peldor. It was already Ray forking by the time it went, uh-oh. So yeah, once again, forward and back. 20s are just around the corner. Ooh, bottom went down. 20s are just around the corner for Habitual Line Steppers. Which, sure, they already have Chromie's Piercing Sands, but it'd be interesting to see what else is going to be picked here. I imagine it's going to be Silence and Tomb. It's going to be Blink. No, sorry, it is Mind Control. It was always going to be Dark Lady's School. But it is also going to be Tyrande going Star for Shooting Star. I can't remember this one. It is Shooting Star, I do remember. Death Wish by Garrosh once again, and it is, yeah, that's Silence and Tomb. And now, here's where I want to see Habitual Line Steppers get aggressive. You have the items, you have the 20s. See if you can hunt down that other team. See if you can punish really aggro Ghoul elites for stepping up even into halfway through the lane. But instead, they're just getting camps. I'm not a fan of that. And I think that the blue team has realized that they do now have a window where they can push up, take a building, and not get punished for it. And yeah, lo and behold, that's exactly what happens. But all the while, I think then Habitual Line Steppers went, okay, sure, you got a fort. That's cute. Let's get a keep. As we see one turret being pushed, which again, would love to see it be Merc Queened up right now. But no, oh, Mind Control from downtown, and we do see it is going to be forced out. Crystal Aegis, and Red is now going to back up. They're afraid of a leap, and they're not wanting to lose anyone now, especially because they're not as a 5. Leo making his way downtown, walking fast. Cam being picked up once again. Yeah, I wish Habitual Line Steppers was being just more aggressive with this 20 advantage. I think that is like my big thing currently. They can do it. I've seen them get that aggression going, but the window is quickly closing for what they can do. I guess this is a bit of a harder map to kind of hide where you are. There's not as many bushes you can hide in. I'd love to see them standing in here and seeing what they can get with it, but window's almost closed. This is a weird game of Ring Around Verosi that I thought would be more blue, kind of moving around really aggro Ghoul elites, as opposed to really aggro Ghoul elites moving around the side of Habitual Line Steppers. Oh, that's Garrosh over wall. Let's see what happens. Great Silence and Tomb. Garrosh is living. Any Warlord challenge? No, unfortunately not. And we can see that it's going to be Garrosh going down first, despite being up 20s. And now we see Ariat Crater being picked up, as well as Fireflight Quiver, Angel, Shield of Hope, Riptide, extra upgrade of extra oomph, and Blinded by the Light on Joanna. Now this is something I think very much favors really aggro Ghoul elites. Vala having that extra range is a lot to deal with no matter which way you cut it. Like, fortunately, there is a position where they may be able to get Vala caught out a little bit, but Vala is going to get her 100th stack just now. Quite slow on that actually this time around, but it does work. Chromie, should mention, this game did take time out, so they do have a way to dodge that leap. Unfortunately, the area crater that comes after... Actually, no. Chromie's unstops 5 seconds. Chromie's fine. We're trading buildings once again. This is such a weird game. This has been such a weird Volskaya game. We're 20 minutes in, and I think we've had... Yeah, well, Red's been pretty dominant so far. Blue team is really making sure things... Oh, Honey Badger's left. Where's my map view screen? There we go. Yeah, it does this feels like an interesting one. I'm not sure how. Oh, we're getting DDoSed again. Sorry, my game. Honey Badger says, "Oh my God, that's not a counter K4K." Yep, we can't. All are blue halved. Mind control goes fishing, finds its target. Urban looking for a leap. Hits only Chromie. Chromie hits that unstop, and we do see that. Sorry, timeout, and she is gonna survive the whole thing. And Sonya's actually one to die in her own area crater. That kind of be the risk of area crater. Great toss. Any taunts via Warlord challenge, and we do see that it is gonna be Chromie. Not Chromie. Crystal Aegis going out onto Sun Roku, and that Sylvana's going down. However, Turret does find the kill onto Vala as well, so that's a Gambit stack gone. But is Leoric traded out as well? Riptide coming through. Does find them. Veyron taking a lot of damage here, but 2 turrets is a lot to walk into. Sun Roku has Raku. Have I been saying their name wrong this whole time? I've been saying their name wrong the whole time. I'm a sub for... Nope. No, I saw who was sitting with this. I'm like, no, I'm not trying a pat today. Yeah, good fort find by the side of Habitual line steppers here. And once again, we're going back to ignoring the objective and seeing what push we can do from either team, which, to be fair, is working better than any single objective would currently. And we're starting to get to the point now where objective has actually scaled. Objectives does scale by time for when they are captured, not when they are starting. So this could be a good one to see, but we, again, we'll have to see what happens. Honey Badger getting what they can on that little structure. That little guy there. I can't remember, heal camp, support camp, that's what it's called. Good mind control. Oh, through right as Urban went to leap. Any Warlord challenge? No, it is up. I'd like to see Baron use it far earlier, but no, they never pushed the button. Unfortunately, heroics aren't very good if you're never going to use them, and I think that one was just a little bit too greedy on who they wanted to taunt there. Chromie throwing sand, and now we're going to see a good push coming in from the side of really Aggro elites. Mind control coming out once again. Again, it is around a Stitch's hook time period at this point. Great concussion mine by Nemesis. Unfortunately, that is going to be Chromie going down. We see Riptide getting used. And this very well may be end game now. I think a lot of this does stem for just Habitual line step has not been quite sure what to do with that 20 advantage. We're not ending. Peldor now in an awkward spot. That's the Silence Trap, Peldor. Oh, the chain deaths are really what's going to be killer here. Peldor now needs to try and get back as quick as possible as marching on the court is... Never mind, someone caught those hands. Don't know about that usage of Crystal Aegis considering half the team is down and Mind Control is a very short cooldown at this point. Western Shield finds 2, Leap finds 1. Unfortunately, Turtwig does get tossed out. Nicely done there by Veyron. Gets a stun to Urban finds the hands, so does Joanna. That's a good stun. Veyron tosses even more people in, but all while Vala is peppering that core. There's the stun. That's a lot of Junkrat concussion mine angle. But those hands are really doing work. We see 1, 2, 3 people going down. And what could have been an end angle for the sign of really Aggro elites, unfortunately was just a little too hesitant. And now we see it is going to be the red team coming away with it this time. Peldor, stop walking into the traps. Please. Win condition is open bottom is like the big thing to note. So we see they're marching straight core. I would love to see Peldor going with him, but we're not quite seeing that at the moment. As red team goes, okay. Sorry, Habitual line steppers goes, okay, we've probably messed around a bit too much at this point. We've played a bit too passive. We need to end. Thing to note is Leap is back up and Riptide as well. It is the extra oomph. Only finds 2 that time, so not quite going to get it. Good toss by Varen Bear. Did get hit by the stun from Turtwig as well. But unfortunately, it is going to be Sylvanas going down. Where's the arrows? There's the toss. Varen really doing work in that area at Crater. And now we see building is falling. No More Heroes goes down short, taking a little bit of aggressive route. And now that's actually a lot of their core damage gone, but it is going to be Junkrat going down to the... what is happening? Going down to the minions getting tossed at them. Varen's taking a lot of shots. But despite the start of a blunder going back in favor of the side of really Aggro elites, Habitual line steppers does take map 2, so we're getting a hell of a call. On ignoring a 20-minute Toxic Core. Here's what you don't see. Let me change. That was still only the second objective. that was the second objective. That was not a newly picked one. That wasn't the fifth. That was the second. But also, good day, Toxic Nor. Hope you're both doing well today. But to look at stats real quick, we do see it is a Chromie coming on top, 68,000 hero damage compared to 63,000 from Junkrat. Siege, though, Junkrat actually have the most, 196,000 compared to Lyric 73,000. Lyric having most stock, however, 28,000 compared to 23 from Junkrat. Healing, Tyrande did actually do pretty well to keep up with Oriole, considering it was an Oriole Vala, but Oriole did edge her out 84 compared to 78k themselves. The double throw, yeah, they're getting very close to a lot of throwing there right at the end, Gossamer. But, no, very much. Red team did manage to kind of keep it together. Habitual Line Steppers definitely did test my sanity, but they did get there. It's probably the longest I've ever seen this objective ignored. Yeah, that's very true. But no, looking at talents, everything kind of standard. Ariat Crater is a bit weird, considering you do have, is it Feel No Pain at 20, or is Feel No Pain for 16? I can't remember. Either way, the defensive at 20. Rest of the build did make sense, though. Tyrande actually going into the full auto attack build just with stun at 1. I think the auto attack 7 and 6 and 13s are criminally underrated, in all honesty. These talents I think are criminally underrated. 4% per auto attack against the marked target's actually kind of insane, especially when those attacks bounce and when you're getting the cooldown reduction on your marks and on the E's. Like, this adds up to be a lot, especially if you have Shooting Star as well as 20. So I love to see that kind of build. It's not common, but it's great to see. And yeah, again, the other thing I mentioned a few times, possession. Well, I do like possession. I would have loved to have seen Mercenary Queen on this map in particular, because it does empower those turrets, and that damage really does add up. Oh yeah, and also, since Explode, it's a strange one. But we'll have to see what next map comes up in a few moments, as I'm going to update the score. I'm going to throw it back over to my face, because apparently people need to see that one today. There we go. We're actually going to get Dragonshy next, chat. I love Dragonshy. This is one of the other ones where where it has been played before. Which, oh my god, they have not given me a, That link ain't working. Invite me, K4K. Oh my gosh. There we go, they've relinked the lobby now. But yeah, we are going to be going to the Dragonshy. One could have stayed back to school. But yeah, very true. Alright, it looks like someone just needing to quickly take a few moments just to take a quick break. But yeah, we are on map 2 of potentially 5. It's 1-to-1, so we're definitely getting to the 4th map. So, should be interesting to see what will come up. God, I just see myself on stream just like zoned out looking at the chat going, what the f is happening? I need to stop swearing as much. That's something I really need to do. I definitely haven't told people off before from swearing too much, but it is what it is either way. And I need to stop looking down so much. I need to look at the camera more. I'm really bad at looking at the camera. Cameras are not something I've ever been a fan of, in all honesty. It's difficult for me to say the least. I have pretty bad image issues about myself, but hey, I've got to get used to it somehow. I do it on Plasty's channel. Why do I not do it on my own or whenever I do NGS? So I went, there's only one way to get used to it, and that really is just ripping Band-Aid off and keep doing it as well. But Dragonshire has been done by these teams before. Holy shit, this is the first time I've ever seen your face. You look exactly... What is that supposed to mean, Harkin? I sound like a big, hairy, long-haired dude with a big beard. I actually haven't shaved in a little bit longer than I'd like to admit. Yeah. Pat, you are testing my patience today. So yeah, it's definitely one that it doesn't always work out. And yeah, as I said, I don't really cast with camera very often, so it's interesting to bring this dynamic again. Harkin. Yeah. I'm very interested to see what comes of this map, because if I pull up the information as I look wildly off to the other side, really Aggro Ghoul Elites has won Dragonshire before, and it looks like that they are choosing the map pick. It very much feels like both these teams are prioritizing their own map picks, which is really nice to see, because I feel like a lot of people don't put that priority on the map pick as much anymore, when map pick is such a important thing. Knowing when map pick and when to first pick are both very... It's good skills to have. I'm just going to put down casters ready so they know that I am indeed ready. It's very good skills to have, and you need to make sure that you are working towards making sure you've got things in place. Have I made a mistake? No, it's enabled. Good. I was like, for a brief moment I went, have I not enabled a delay? It's like I remember you spend a whole replay cast to torture and critique me. Pat, I can torture and critique you without you being in the game if you want. Like, that is something doable, if you would prefer. But no, again, it looks like it was a pretty close matchup last time around for this map as well. So I'm just opening things up and it's opening the data. So, interesting picks first and last time around. I'll be very interested to see if it's the same ones coming up, because we did see Stitches was picked last time by really Aggro Ghoul Elites here, but... Sorry, Stitches and Anduin picked up both times, but those have been banned out both times, so I imagine we're going to have to see them change it up. We see a Blaze. We see Garrosh really has been favored by Habitual Line Steppers, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen priority on banning it out more, but Dahaka has been banned out both times, and we can see that Dahaka also kind of wanted to make sure that it's not being picked up very often by Habitual Line Steppers, especially on maps such as this, where globals can absolutely swing the tide of things, where just a well-timed burrow and a well-timed phase shift or anything such as that really can spell out doom for the offlane or the 4-man suddenly getting into a 4v5, which is not really what the 4-man ever wants bottom. But we are just winning on 1 by the looks of things. They are just quickly doing something. The AFK, they needed to, I don't know, get a drink. Drinking is probably a good idea, chat. Keep that in mind. Keep up your water. I have already drunk about half this bottle in an hour, which is... I don't know Imperial measurements, I'll be honest. No way Samurai lit for on Dragon, maybe. You look like a lot... Thank you, Nor. Appreciate it. But yeah, don't know how much half a liter is in Imperial measurements, freedom units. I don't know, it's like... I don't even know. I was about to say like some random stuff, because one of my favorite bits is very much giving any random object just to measure and stuff, and I'm like, that sounds like Imperial, like... Well, let's just say 4 shoes full of water. That sounds like an American Imperial measurement to me, but I'm going to stop ripping on America. Let's get into the draft and see what happens, shall we? Right. It is first pick to the side Habitual Line Steppers. I imagine we see an Anduin ban. I imagine we see a Stitches ban. I imagine we see a Dahaka ban from the side of really Aggro Ghoul Elites. But the question is, what will that 4th ban be? And we do see Stitches is going to be first banned. Hydrate check, dude. No, I got you, brother. Let me mute myself so no free ASMR on this channel. I'll take that as an actual point redemption. I'll only do that so much for. I'm not going to make myself drown. But Hammer going to be first banned, actually. Which... Was that picked last time? I've immediately closed my information because I need to look at Twitch chat. Anduin banned, yeah, same bands. But Hammer being banned is definitely an interesting one. It wasn't picked last time. We'll have to see. Never stop ripping on America. You got it, Harkin! Samurai banned out as well. So Dahaka is available. Are they planning on first picking Dahaka? Because that one can be a very rough matchup when America stops ripping on America. I'll let you know. Thanks, Pat. But right, first pick, Dahaka, there it is. Vern absolutely just got locking it in. Which means Peldor won't be... Rip America. Oh god, I've started a war. Garrosh taken by really Aggro Ghoul Elites. I like the switch up. And now I'm very interested to see what gets picked up here instead. Because does tank fall to Peldor in this instance? I go back and forth going, ah! I don't know, Peldor has been loving offlane this season, so it's hard to say. We'll have to see. Peldor picks up Joanna and Sylvanas being picked up by Boomer, which Sylvanas worked last time, why not use it again? Now the thing about Dahaka is, I like Dahaka on this map. I did just say that. They can get a little bit bullied by certain offlaners, so I'd love to see where that comes into play. But it's up to Vern, it's up to the team. Go, hey, is there any offlaner that you're a bit more scared of in the offlane? If there is, ban it. In all honesty, just rip it, bud. But we do see it is going to be Junkrat banned out. I like that pick. It's great vision control. It's great control of that bottom shrine, of those middle triangle bushes, especially with trap build, and we have seen trap build picked a couple of times. K4K picking Tychus into Joanna. Yeah, it can work, but I'd love to see Peldor just rip a double blind and just flash it straight into Tychus' face every single time they activate the minigun and step up to AA. Hogger also being picked up as well by the Urban Punk. No more heroes. Turtwig, what we're thinking of the last two picks. Heal still needed, and second damage still needed. We've seen Chromie every time. Do we see Chromie again? Kael'thas angle. Tassadar, I do also like to see, weirdly enough. And Tyrande picked up by Turtwig at the end. Peldor tanks when Vern gets to Haka. It is no one. Not to me! All is known in my eyes. Omnipotence from Voriel coming in. But no, last pick, Sun Raku. I keep wanting to say Roku. Like Sun Goku. But no, Sun Raku. Can't believe I missed it was an A for basically two whole matches. That's kind of insane. Zeratul. Ooh, I like a roaming Zeratul. Gets the mid lane, so Pester's Boston, Pester's top. That's a hell of a thing to see, but we're not going to see, we did see No More Heroes and Boomer switch it up. Any swaps on the other side of things? No, not really either, so let me jump it back over to the map view screen, and then we'll wait for things to start. There we go. I was like, I need to update that image as well. So yeah, Dragonshire being map number 3. So we're guaranteed getting at least one more map after this, so very interesting what that will be. But for now, we do have Dragonshire coming up. Both teams are looking pretty imposing. Joanna may be a bit hard to kill if she is smart with her E and making sure Tychus never gets that auto attack chain onto her. If Tychus auto attacks are too long, goodbye, Joe. Goodbye, Jojo. But no, let's get into this and see what happens. As we have on the blue side of really Aggro Ghoul Elites, Urban Punk is going to be on that Hogger. Sun Raku, Zeratul already going bottom, ready for a little bit of cheese action. We're expecting some cheese action. Is going to be Garrosh Honey Badger, Lagwagon on the Rhaegar, and K4K on the Tychus. On the other side of things, we do see in middle Veyron ready to slow people down, and up top ready to do some good old cheese action. It is going to be Peldor on the Joanna. No More Heroes on the Sylvanas. Turtwig is going to be on that Tyrande. Right, if it's out, is going to be Boomer APM on the Tassadar, the Vroom guy. And yeah, good start. Getting a good chunk of that tower down. Sun Raku really wants to step in. Does get with a flashlight. And that is not as much of a structure as they did get last time. Peldor gets a stun off, pops the Iron Skin. I would love to see that Iron Skin pop a bit sooner, but no, they are just going to have to waddle on out. Tass can't love the Zeratul. Well, Tass can love the Zeratul, but that would be a big mistake. Yeah, Sun Raku has got a very good pickup here with a very static damage dealer in the form of Tassadar. And this is a weird setup. I imagine we see Veyron burrow top at some point soon. Yeah, there it is. Good. Maybe this is a Tassadar self-shield angle? Big Bison from Lagwagon. Fortunately, Joanna doesn't have the most immediate of punishes until we see Blessed Shield, so that is very much something that really Aggro Elite Ghouls can be aware of. They do have a far better early game. They can punish Peldor for stepping up too much, but Peldor can't punish as easily until 10. But at 10, First thing we can see front to back really start to pick up as No More Heroes does have that overwhelming affliction. And we can see it is going to be Q build tested out, so it can really pump that damage out in the late game. Also, I think Hogger's winning top pretty comfortably at the moment from what I can see. Boomer APM has come down. Big triple stun by Joe. Not on Joe's volition, but it was. And adds a lot of damage. Honey Badger does go down to No More Heroes. And Zeratul was on it immediately, so that is a quick DK. Unfortunately, if the DK starts channeling at the same time you start flipping the objective, DK will always go off. That's a shorter channel time and this can flip. And now we see Testadar going to do his duty and stopping mid. Meanwhile, bottom, however, Red's going to take a little bit of advantage. They're going to see, hey, we know it's your Dragon Knight, but we also know Zeratul is not rotating on us. Let's see what we can get. And yeah, they're off to a pretty good start. They have a Siege Giant, so they can do pretty well. Garl steps up. Quick DK check. Yeah. Big kick. Big kicker over here. And then we can see Dragon Knight is now getting collapsed upon by the team. But it is Zeratul, so good luck catching Zeratul if he pops out. When he pops out. And Peldor's just going, actually, guys, can we come back? I don't really want them to siege too much down here. And yeah, we can see No More Heroes comes back. We can see Turtwig comes back. So not much sieging can happen here, unfortunately. Oh, great double stun by Turtwig. Joe finding a stun, stepping out of a wave. Yes, they are. No, they're not. They're a little bit too scared. Not the time to blind. Oh, Boomer, really aggressive step up, but it is the electric fence slowing things down. Peldor, I hope you have an iron skin. But no, thankfully, that bottom tower is down. Peldor's walked the worst way possible, but will survive anyway. Yes, they will. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff from Turtwig, trying their hardest to keep Peldor alive. I feel like there's a competition between Peldor and Veyron to speak, because it looks like Peldor usually loves playing the Samuro and Veyron loves this Tahaka. So whoever gets it will go, yep, me please. And that's 7's online for both teams now. Pretty even as well. Warp Skirmisher. Full AA build Zeratul coming on in. That's a hell of a thing to see and be scared of, especially if you're Tassadar. Joanna has to be really on top of these blinds and what will be these shields this game, because yeah, that backline is going to feel very squishy in the grand scheme of things. Especially once Zeratul gets into that late game, gets those 16s, gets those 20s. Honey Badger being slow. This is getting very close to my build. I like the hybrid Tesla build with Q at 1, then building into W. But we may need to see Tesla go the percent damage at 16 still, just because Garrosh, as he gets that lower, needs that last chunk of health just to disappear. And yeah, the level 16 is very good for that. But I can't remember what it's called because I don't ever remember Tesla talents. And I even play Tesla, that's the worst thing. I just don't see Tesla picked very often. Oh, Vern.
There must always be.
Have I been calling Veyron when he's just Vern?
But will it be you?
Yeah, I think I have. That makes sense. Also great getting out there by Vern. Who looks like was race car. Yep, they are going to be that enhanced agility at level 1. And speaking of other stacks, we do have Zeratul completing his level 1, which is called Shadow Hunter apparently. Hogger has gone easy for a dynamite stacking. Tesla Q. It is Tyrande with her E as the last thing I mentioned. Big Q cleave. Honey Badger wants anyone but Peldor, but Peldor is going to be the chosen one anyway. Big double stun. Oh my god, Turtwig is actually hitting these stuns really consistently. They're doing great this game with the E's. And 7 stacks already, so that is a good 35% extra damage so far. And Sylvanas goes down mid. Sun Raku doing well to punish this series. This map in particular. Any blinds still on it? Over 20 War is a real test. So, yeah, that's true. Speaking about ults, we do see Tenta now online. We do see Zeratul not caring about the fight as Ancestral goes out into Honey Badger. We do see Honey Badger is going to pick up the Warlord's Challenge. K4K picking up the Comedy of Odin this time, where we did see Draken Laser Drill map number 1. Zeratul has got Might of Nerazim and Shockwave Hogger. On the other side of things, it is going to be the Wailing Arrow, Starfall, Black Hole, Blessed Shield. And speaking of Black Hole and Blessed Shield, there they both are. There's a Wailing Arrow on top. Garrosh is taking a lot, but Peldor not quite keeping up, unfortunately. But Honey Badger may still go down either way. Yes, they will. And last thing is going to be the isolation on the Dahaka. Dahaka getting a lot of push here. Well, I've been kind of promised greatness of Vern so far, what it feels like. I'm hoping it picks up in the late game, because he does feel like he's struggled a little bit so far. Hogger is a hard one to go into, though, so... Just like a fucking... That swearing line, don't do that. I need to swear less in general, chat, so if you do hear me telling myself off for swearing, it's because I'm an idiot. And I need to swear less in the job that I'm working in. And I, like swearing, apparently. That key feature, swearing, likes it. Boomer run. Caught out. That's why Decimate is so good. If you get even one Decimate onto something such as Tassadar, really hard for him to escape. Nice Blessed Shield, but unfortunately Sylvanas is missing, so if you're missing a lot of that follow-up damage. Sure, Boomer can do a lot, but Boomer had already used Q, already used W, so there's not much that can kill Honey Badger at that point, and there wasn't much that can follow up on K4K or Lagwagon. Especially considering Ancestral Healing is up. And also Dahaka has been double soaking his assignment. Good Task Wall. Unfortunately a little bit too high. That's so much damage on a Honey Badger. Rhaegar wants to do the Ancestral. There it is. And unfortunately no more heroes gets here a little bit too late. You know, Dahaka goes, what's happening down here, folks? What's happening down here, guys? And he burrows out immediately. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Umbung is doing so much push. While everything else has been happening. Vern really needs to be on top of moving around. It's felt like a struggle so far for the Dahaka. Yeah, this is one of the, weirdly enough, this is one of the harder maps for Dahaka. Peldor, you need to take those! Unfortunately, it's going to be Boomer going down. Big grenade. And that is Commandeer Odin being dropped. So likely we're going to see this bottom 4 go down. At least not go down, but take a lot. Oh, it's... Okay, I did not even see the Master Assassin being picked up for Tigers, which... Yeah, if you see Master Assassin, it is pretty good indicator of whether there's going to be an Odin or not coming out. And we do see him dash away. Dahaka is getting rotated on. I know there's stuff happening bottom, but Vern is about to be in trouble. So yes, I know there's bottom, but offlaner is about to be in a tough spot. Big burrow, knockback. No, it's not the knockback. But Vern is going to be fine. Yeah, Zeratul trying to get the kill, but that move speed does make it harder for Zeratul to kind of get that full combo off. And this is one of those situations where, yeah, I would have liked to have seen the Invis knockback, especially considering you have things such as Tychus, have things such as Zeratul, where the auto attacks really do matter. And that second of unrevealable is absolutely huge. Unstop. Peldor really not wanting Honey Badger to catch anyone. Big shield finding only one, however. Honey Badger getting stun chained pretty well. Big cleave. Sun Reiku. Yeah, Reiku is really wanting to step in, but Joe is losing a lot. That's damage on the Lagwagon, and that is them going down. The CC was just too much, and Ancestral never had the chance of being used. Meanwhile, we're having a fight up here. And Van isn't losing, and they have to be very careful now of Zeratul just doing that. That was very unfortunate, Van, I'm sorry. I caught that on the big screen. And now we're having Blue once again in control of this map. K4K is about to lose Odin. And 16s are in favor of really aggro Ghoul elites. Yep, we're full Zeratul AA build. That's a hell of a thing to see. And once again, Zeratul quickly caps that mid. No, nothing has the chance to even stop them. But Urban is taking top, as Dahaka has been down for a little bit too long, and that will be that. I need more water, chat. I'm muting myself. I hope I have throat lozenges. Probably soothing the throat may be a great idea in this series. after this series, because I'm used to a co-caster nowadays. Doing it alone does feel like going back to my wheelhouse, but my brain's wheelhouse. My throat is like, you idiot, how dare you do this to me? And my great example is, I'm just gonna say, lost my voice. Big damage, big throw, Pelter on the back line. Does get a double stun. Oh my god, Urban Punk in the back, getting a nice shockwave. Shield finding Garrosh. Wall, unfortunately, just a little bit too late, and Ancestral on time this time. Urban Punk, all while stealing a camp above. Anyone just gonna steps up here, and that's a not great area you want to be. I saw that spin, Urban Punk. Oh no. Oh no, we don't face chick bushes, folks. Boomer does go to the invis for 40 armor, does a lot. That's a hell of a wailing arrow though, but Sun Reiku will get out at this point. Unfortunately, just face checking even this bush at this point of the game is costly. Very much. I do know you want to make sure you get your inject camps. You don't expect there ever to be that aggression in this area, especially when all of you are just below. But instead, we did see that aggression. And only one was punished for it. It could have been much worse, in all honesty. But they saw that Dahaka was top. They knew they could get away with it. Big stun. Big wave clear. But yeah, all forts are still up for this side of really aggro Ghoul elites. Meanwhile, Habitual line steppers have lost all of theirs. And we can see it's a very dominant macro game for really aggro Ghoul elites. But in terms of kills, it's actually pretty close. It's only 4-3. You really wouldn't expect it, considering what we see on each team. But I guess Zeratul is a late game hero. And now this is where Zeratul really starts to ramp up the damage, and that's where all the kills have been for really aggro Ghoul elites. It has been that late game. Well, Red is just wanting even one building. They got towers, but no fort or keep yet.
My husband is dead. Remind this king.
Vian is down. Does actually stay out of vision, I think. He's waiting for people to step up. No one does, and all while waves are pushing in. Tongue. Ooh, doesn't quite find the tongue. But we do see it's going to be the Starfall being dropped. We do see that Lagwagon really wants to get things through. And that is Wailing Arrow at the perfect time. And that's the healer going down. 4 kills to 4. As we are going to see Dahaka is tossed in. Doesn't quite find that tongue. And just like that, Sun Reiku does take out Sylvanas. So you have to, this is now getting to the point where you have to play much closer to the tank. Turtwig gets low. Zeratul goes in for the combo. They do have that Vorpal talent. They do have double Vorpal, in fact. But unfortunately, Joe was barely in range, and Turtwig got to live for it. K4K getting chased out by Dahaka. Oh. Tongue finds its target. Boomer wants to turn and do damage, but unfortunately doesn't quite find its mark. What is that? What's under my feet? It's a hair tie. My hair is getting too long, chat. Oh my gosh, all while that was happening and I missed it. Hogger has just been dead pushing top. And win condition is open now for the blue team as Zeratul once again on that Dragon Knight. It's probably a bit rough now that Zeratul's the one in it, considering they are the one who can just blow up the backline like they have been. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not the worst. I think it's zoom out time. Yeah, we see both lanes being pushed at once, Dragon Knight getting low, but was enough of distraction where both gates are now down. And that gives a lot of room for really aggro Ghoul elites to work with. Dragon Knight 1 does drop. Beldor is thrown in. Let's zoom it back in 1 level. Nice blind. And Sun Reiku is looking to step back on up. Do not step in this bush again, team. Warning ping came out. They saw it this time. And Honey Badger's taking a lot of damage for just standing at 1 bush. Taz is not getting up there in stacks. At 135, but 20s are through for one side, so I'll quickly touch on that. We're going full Q build on Tigers. It's actually the build I run. I'm also not a good Tiger, so take that for what you will. double Vorpal. We do see Shockwave upgrade, but we can see Peldor getting thrown in, forcing out the Iron Skin. Indestructible being popped as well. It does drop shield. And Garrosh dies. Peldor falls shortly after. Soon after, I was about to say. And great grenade cancelling tongue. Van is not happy about that one. All in all, pretty good kills for both sides, but unfortunately, I think I would have much rather have keep the jaw around, considering we now see a Zeratul that can be unhindered, going to full combo Turtwig. Does get by the stun, but does find the kill. That's ISO hitting Vimbo, keeping Sun Reiku up, and that's the Ancestral with the fastest blessing. Big heals coming in from that. Rhaegar and now No More Heroes knows that their time is up. And Ben goes, I am now going to defend against everyone. And we have auto attack Zeratul just staying on top of him. There's not much you can do. You can't escape it with that double Vorpal. And it looks like we're getting end call top for really aggro Ghoul elites. So they are going to be taking us to map number 4, unless I'm saying that Cursor casted it, which to be fair, won't be the first time. Definitely won't be the last. But no, it very much is an end call. And yeah, with Joe only coming up now, there's not much that can be done. What does it sound? Yeah, that's it. I was like trying to figure out what it sound was. I'm not sure it's just Zeratul, just with a lot of W's on core, but that's game number 3. Going over the side of really aggro Ghoul elites. Well played by them. And as a reminder, chat, this is a best of 5. Not a best of 3, 5. So that was the third map. We've at least got one more to go, maybe 2. I've just updated the score, so it is representative. Representative of how this is going currently. So to quickly touch on stats and talents, we do see hero damage. Tiger's 56k, Zeratul 50, but I'm 99% sure like half of that came from the last 4 levels alone. 76,000 healing from Rhaegar compared to 56,000 from Tyrande. So Tyrande still doing pretty well to keep up with things such as Rhaegar. These are more meta healers, so to speak. And I actually, big props to Turtwig. Turtwig's doing really good at hitting those stuns. Just into Zeratul is a hard thing to do. And I think as soon as we saw the Brightwing, the red flag should have been going for Zeratul to still come through. Other things to note is going to be the Siege. Cestar actually barely edging out Dahaka on his own team. But Tyker's 153,000, Zeratul 149,000, Hogger 144,000. A lot more Siege went on for the side of really aggro Ghoul elites, and we can see that is kind of reflected in the soak as well, with 22,000 on the Zeratul, 19,000 of a Hogger. Only then Dahaka with 17,000. Very well executed map by really aggro Ghoul elites. For talents, for those of you who are interested in things such as talents, here they are. Relatively standard builds along the way. Interesting to see what Garrosh picked up, especially because we don't have the CDR at 4. We did still pick the Unstop. But everything else kind of, oh god. Yawning. Standard. 0 being the one I can't really comment on because I know that is a form of auto attack, kind of single target block build, but I'm not confident with Zeratul, nor am I confident with his talents, so I cannot really comment on that one, neither here nor there. But everything else, straightforward enough to me. This chair is so broken. Right, back to my face. We're gonna figure out how broken I've fit. Really? Oh, big stretch, everyone. Posture check for everyone. Stretch. It's been an hour and a half so far. If you've been here so far, get your stretch going. Make sure you are feeling limber, because I feel like I'm old. My back is sore. But again, this chair is broken. I can't lean back because it will just keep leaning back. And that is my office chair, and that is uncomfortable as all hell. That's work chair. Say hi to work chair, chat. But I'm looking forward to seeing what map comes next. We did see that, if I pull up this information, Cursed Hollow Ultrac was banned out, as well as Battlefield and Braxis Holdout. Does leave a few good options available to us if I go over to the map view screen. Some people prefer that level 7 to 0 when most are both viable. Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, looking at this thing, we do see there is... Oh, I just realized Infernal's left. Yay. To be fair, it's been so long since I've done the big casting days that I used to do. I've come back around on Infernal Shrines, but most people keep joking about me going, I read 789. But yeah, I keep joking about Infernal Shrines. I've gotten used to it again. I'll probably say that, then get to the end of Infernal Shrines going, man, I don't want to see that map again. But we'll have to wait and see, because yeah, we do have that. Tomb of the Spider Queen, Sky Temple, and Garden of Terror left. Which it'll be interesting to see, because we're starting to run out of those more brawly maps that really Aggro Ghoul elites have been liking. Realistically, if I am the side of Habitual Line Steppers, I'm avoiding going to any smaller maps where you need to fight a lot and go towards those bigger maps like Garden, like Sky Temple, and seeing what we were going from there. But we'll have to wait and see, as the teams are still deciding on where to go next. And it is going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen. That's not one of the ones I wanted to see if I was map picking. Right, let's throw it over. And it was map picked by this team here. Tomb. There we go, Tomb. Yeah. This is one of those other maps where you can get quite brawly. So I don't know how well Habitual Line Steppers are going to do into this, because it does feel like really aggro elite ghouls are preferring those brawlier maps. They are doing really well on it. And this is one of those maps where I would love to see someone just double soak top mid and then just have your 4-man run it down bottom. But we may see Nazebo come back out again this time. We may see a lot of other kind of traditionally good heroes coming out here. But I imagine we're going to see very similar bans this time around. Did my overlay break? I just saw it. Why did that fix it? 2. There we go, that's fixed. You know, so let's see if the map picker wins the map kind of holds true this series. I've just changed it I've changed the wrong scene. I was about to say we're about to get into it. But yeah, we're getting counted in by K4K, so we should be in just a few moments. You'll hear when the draft is ready, and then we shall get into things. So yeah, I'm a bit concerned for Habitual Line Steppers here. I was hoping for a full 5-map series, but it's going to be hard to say how that one's going to go until we see how this map rolls out. So let's get into it, shall we? As I remember which button is the right button to push. There it is. Right. What will we see? Stitch's ban first. I imagine we see an Anduin ban. I imagine we're going to see very similar bans. Dahaka, maybe not. Because while I know they said Dahaka is not, like, Van is known for Dahaka, I don't know if you're that threatened on this map by Dahaka itself. This one does feel like a bit more of one where you can bully that off later. And Dahaka isn't always going to be your go-to pick. We'll have to see what's picked up here. I'd much rather see, like, Leoric or something. It's a bug just bite me, goddammit. Goddamn bugs are coming in because it's winter coming up. And be like, let's go to the warm place. And it's in the house is a problem. And we are loving the Hammer ban. Did something happen where all of a sudden the team loves picking up Hammer? And yeah, we see Van is going to pick up Garrosh to start. What next is the question? Tychus, once again. We're really loving this Tychus, and Anubarak is returning, which, map number 1, yeah, Anubarak was a hell of a guy. Did a hell of a lot of CC, and is quite good into Garrosh, if you can avoid getting the immediate follow-up stun. Because you can go in, you can borrow charge back out, you do have that mobility option. So it's not the end of the world if you do get tossed in the first place. Leoric being picked up, as well as Stukov leaving the damage silver after the 2 picks. Interesting. So what is going to be the ban here for... I imagine we see Tracer now that I'm saying things out loud. Yep, Sylvanas banned, actually. I mean, along the lines of what I was expecting to see banned here. The noob Toxic Core is happy, and Toxic Core is popping off. But let's see, what is the last ban going to be for the side of Habitual Line Steppers? Well, potentially the last ban of the season, but that's going to be a bit preemptive saying that, isn't it? Junkrat once again, and yeah, once again, very annoying hero for this map. Controls vision, controls objectives really well, controls vision really well because of the chittering traps, I think they're called. Something like that. But no, let's see. Blue team, what are you thinking? Really aggro Ghoul elites? What have you got for us? Malfail and... Malfail? Oriel makes sense. I like seeing Oriel. But Malfail is an interesting one to say the least. It does kind of lean into the idea we are going to see the offlaners go into that more double soaking territory. And the 4-man just shove bottom. Oh, my Ev. Right on. That's a hell of a one. It's okay. We're getting funky with it. I love seeing my Ev. I'm a trash my Ev. But I love seeing a good, solid my Ev play. So I'm interested to see how No More Heroes does here with my Ev. Sunraku still last to pick. What are we going to see? Wave clear isn't as great if you're really aggro Ghoul elite, so you may want to get something that does let you get wave clear prior if you're not playing on a 4-man. But we do see Nazebo, as I kind of did say at the beginning of the draft, we may see Nazebo come back. So this just kind of leans more back into that idea of we're going to see the 4-man double soaking and then offlaners dueling it out bottom as per. I'm looking forward to this map. I think I'm a bit scared for Habitual Line Steppers here, just considering how the more brawling maps have gone so far, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, this is everything on the line now for the side of Habitual Line Steppers. They need to win this map. There's no two ways about it. If they don't win this map, that's it. That's their season. It's done. You got to playoffs, but kakitiano. We'll see you later. But really, our Ghoul elites, they don't want to fumble this. So I have to see how it goes, shall we? Let's get into the game. Right, so on the side of OBS, go away. On the side of really aggro Ghoul elites, we do see it's going to be Urban Punk on the Malfail. Honey Badger is going to be on that Anurak. Sunraku on the... I can't remember his name. Nazebo. K4K is going to be on that Tychus Rata figures out. Nemesis on the Oriel. And then the red boxes on the other side. In the other corner, we do have Boomer APM on that Tessadar. No More Heroes on the... I can't remember her name either. Maya, there we go. I'm beginning names today. Peldor is going to be right on that, yeah, the spooky ghost guy. Yeah, no, I actually do remember that one. It is going to be Leorc. Ben is going to be on Tychus, and apparently the silly voice had broken my brain, because last and certainly not least is going to be Turtwig on the Stukov. So what will we see come from here? Going in? Not? No More Heroes, not sure about it. No More Heroes stepping up, gets a nice little reset there. We see it's going to be Nisha's Memento on the... Oh, good instant flip from No More Heroes. Absolutely reading that. But unfortunately wasn't able to tether in time. We do see tether is active as well. So No More Heroes has that W on cool... We'll have that W on cooldown as soon as that order comes out. And No More Heroes is really not able to really do much. Order? It's a start. But yeah, relying on just Tesla will be very interesting to watch in terms of damage-wise. We do see Nazebo is going Toad build, definitely an interesting one to say the least. If that's the only kind of other things stacking to note, we do have beetles from Anubrak, which can get very annoying from things such as Garrosh. Big which Garrosh is absolutely getting minigun unloaded into him. And Turtwig, please do not go for physical armor into Tychus this time. That may not be a great choice. Meanwhile, we can see Maev and Stukov from starter camp. What's happening bottom? Punk is kind of slapping around Peldor a bit. And this is before we even see Die Alone come out, which is where Malfail's dueling capabilities really come online. So we'll have to see how that's picked up. But no, I do like we see No More Heroes and Turtwig have pretty comfortably picked up that mid-camp. Meanwhile, bottom, Peldor is going to go back to duking it out with Impunk, but to be a bit careful as him. And make sure he hit that bucket. Yep, bucket was hit. Peldor gets to stand around a little bit, but don't get too... Don't stand in your lane. If you are Peldor, you really need not stand in your lane. Oh! Huge kill. I was looking too much of an offlane again. This is a problem when offlane is in charge, chat. I go, oh, what's the offlane doing? Looking at like Narnia and I accidentally click buttons. There we go. Zoom out. There we go. Daggers aren't finding anyone. Peldor is getting low again. Yep, barely in Impunk's range, but it is enough. Impunk did go the move speed at level 1, Fear of a Reaper, so he can keep up post Leoric Grey Forking. I can see that's a fair few daggers. Wow, I was reading talents and then got confused. That was a fair few gems dropped, that's what it's called. And I do not want to see Bionic Armor here. Unfortunately, I don't think it's very good into the Tychus. Because unfortunately, miniguns avoid physical armor, and Azebo doesn't really care about physical armor either. I'm not the biggest fan of that talent into this damage structure is probably the best way to put it. Honey Badger already used Burrow Charge, does get pulled further in. Testar misses Q, is it going to matter? No, it's not, as it is going to be the Maiev finding the last hit. Careful, K wants those gems. Ben is going to be stuck, does get whipped into a wall. Is going to be alive, good wall, good silence, but also no follow-up on the Garrosh, and that's going to be some more gems in favor of really Aggro Ghoul elites. But it is red team with first turn and available to them. Can they get it is now the question. Which, yeah, is going to be my guess. Now it's the perfect window. It's just no more heroes you need to turn in. Everyone else should be holding much higher. And now we're going to have to see Maiev try and find a way through. But Leoric does not quite have all of it either. And it seems now online for both teams. Toads of Hugeness, let's go! I love Toad build. I love shitting on Toad build, but I do like seeing Toad build. Especially into triple melee such as this team. Because that damage reduction is actually nothing to joke about. It does add up a significant amount once you get all those Toads shotgunning into the enemy team. But we only have 17 Toad stacks so far. We're going to see a little bit till we get to that point. And that is the very final step. Of course, the mid step being 35, and that is the extra 2 Toads. So 5 instead of the normal 3. Full Shadow Dagger build. Wait, no. That's not what it's called. Full Fan of Knives build coming in from No More Heroes. So gonna look for multiple hits. So imagine we're gonna see Warden's Cage instead of Containment Disc. Not the biggest fan of that option, honestly. You don't really have that wombo that we can see. You do have things such as Testar follow-up. You do have things such as Warlord's Challenge to follow up on it as well. So it probably can do a lot of work here, but it'll be very hard to say. That's for certain. Then does get barely hit by that tail end of a stun. Oh god. Peldor. Die Alone is such a hard one to trade into for those kind of lower damage but higher sustain heroes. Just because Impunk really... Malthael can do a lot to sustain through what can be done. And that Die Alone doing 50% extra damage is a lot. It's nothing to joke about. Nemesis barely gets it turned in. And right as that happened, Malthael getting bottom camp. Ooh. Just what you want to see if you are the side of really Aggro Ghoul elites. But not what you want to see if you are a viewer, I suppose. Or, I mean, if you have a horse in this race, probably not. But if you're like me and coming and going, I love Heroes of the Storm. I love to see it go to a full 5, even if my throat may be unhappy with me if it does. Big slap coming out from Nemesis. Rotate coming out to Boomer. Boomer needs to back up. Boomer backs up. And now that's 10s online. Last rites, Gargantuan, Cocoon, Crystal Aegis, and... Okay, yeah. We're back to the Dragon Ledger. On the other side of things, we do see Warden's Containment Disc, Black Hole, Entomb, Wall of Challenge, and the Flailing Swipes. Good talents. Once again, the only thing that really does kind of throw me off is the Draken Laser Drill, but I do understand the pickup as to why. They want the minigun to make sure Garrosh can never truly feel safe. Which, I respect that. Nice stun. Toss. Unfortunately, no one's home to really follow up. The Ganty Crystal Aegis comes out. We can see the Cocoon comes out. And Waller's Challenge finding a healthy 2 as Van gets whipped out to safety. And now Turtwig getting the Flaming Swipes off. And Last Rites finds Garrosh. Does anyone know if armor does reduce the damage that Last Rites does? Is Last Rites percent damage? Or is it just missing health? Because this does read a certain way. So like a third health in theory should make sense. So is that like, is that your percent or true damage some people may call it? I never know. I was pretty sure it was, but looking at it then, I'm not sure. Wave clear. They're still in it. They did lose a structure pretty early on there. They're about to lose another because, as you've seen before, Son Raku loves running at buildings and just throwing everything at it. Need to be faster on that silence, unfortunately, if you're Turtwig. And just a little bit too much of a window was left open there, and we can see that was a missed opportunity on the Anubarak. Because if Anubarak silence, that's a hell of a thing. Anubarak really can't live without his buttons. Anubarak is one of those heroes where if they have their buttons, they live, they get the CC chain. If they don't, they die. And Peldor now going, wait, I need to back up. And they do know Bruiser is being done. But are they going to get here in time? That is the question. And we can see Honey Badger's going, I actually don't like this, guys. We're a little bit too spread out. Nazebo's just getting top. Let's just play it closer to the chest. And yeah, Son Raku just running it down again. Big whip. Yeah, quick wave clear. Then looking. Big toss. Big stun. Oh, that's a good silence as well. And that is going to be K4K. However, Nick going through for Crystal Aegis. And unfortunately, his containment just not finding its mark. Now we see Turtwig stuck in the middle of everything. Gets a nice flank swipes off, but that does not move the drill. But it was enough to make sure Turtwig gets to live. Very good use of flaming swipes here by Turtwig. Hydrate the beard check. I literally just muted myself to hydrate before. I'll do it again. I'm not pouring water from my beard, though. That's a little bit too messy, and I do have a camera on for once. Nephis' power wanes. Nephis? Nifis? Nifis? Never know. Oh, do not do boss. I just saw them all rotating me up like, no, you do not have a good boss team, don't do it. Haha, no. Nazebo turning in, that's a good solid 12. Yeah, I think it's literally everyone needs to turn in. Oh, Nemesis just steps away too late at the end, but Honey Badger didn't have it either. Flipped by no more heroes. Good into. Doesn't get the E over wall, so there's no more heroes going down, unfortunately. And Last Rites finds the kill onto Garrosh as well. Yeah, unfortunately, as I said, I would have much rather see map pick picked up by Habitual Line Steppers this time, and I think it's kind of, as I said, they need to pick a bigger map, and unfortunately, they chose to give away map pick and gone to a smaller, brawlier map, and this, once again, is favoring really Aggro Ghoul elites. They're kind of just living up to their name. They are getting really aggressive in a lot of these situations, and now we're going to have a boss with the Web Weaver. That's a potentially game-ending threat that's going to be happening top, and they've done this really well. They're getting it out at a good time. And while Habitual Line Steppers are holding by this top fort, they need to be ready to give it up. Because if you get stunned by something, if the spider gets too much damage on one of you, I think Honey Badger is just going to follow it up every time. And even now, Honey Badger is looking to follow it up because boss is dropping. I'd like to see really Aggro Ghoul elites live up to their name and get aggressive. That's a good cocoon. Good unstop, good stun. Oh, the boss finds a hell of a stun. Peldor getting low. Containment Disc finding one, but Peldor is stuck in the zombie wall, and that is going to be the Auric going down. And that is Toad's complete. Vian is going down as well. That is the front line gone. Lurok's trying his hardest to get back, but there's still a half full, essentially third full zombie and a just about dead boss about to go down here. So Leorc really needs to get back this instant. Where is Pelta? There he is. I was like, where is Leorc? There he is. That's about to go wrong. Good tether. Sunreiku does get Crystal Aegist. There's a stun onto Turtwig. Turtwig goes down before, as just as the slaps come out. Swipes, doesn't quite do it. Big cleave. You see no more heroes backing up. Spiders can actually make their way through bottom. And that's Last Rites finding the Tassadar as well. That likely is potentially going to be it. A reprieve says Nithis, but no, it's not. That's a lot of minions on core. That core is falling quickly. And while it may have been a very good time for the right side typically, this time not so much, as it is going to be the game and the series going over to really Aggro Ghoul elites as they do make it through to the finals. Does anyone know? This is like the one thing I don't have open. Division E, let's just open things up. While I talk about things really quick, we do see that it is going to be, in terms of, actually a relatively low damage game. 37,000 hero damage from Nazebo, 29,000 from Vitassadar. Malfail 31, absolutely hitting with his last rights. And no single hero did manage to pass a healer in damage compared to healing. So 38,000 between both the Stukov and the Oriel. Unfortunately, I'd like to kind of I'll combat in a few moments. But Siege, Malfail, 123 compared to Tessa's 127. Tessa being the main wave combat side. And yeah, this was, semi-finals. So we're looking forward to the finals here. So it'll be really Aggro elites making it to the finals. Things to look at, talents-wise. Yeah, Tychus going into that percent damage in the rhythm and sizzling attacks. Sizzling attacks is not often picked. It does do pretty well, but it's not often picked at all. Relatively standard builds here along the way. Inevitable end, I do like seeing, especially into things such as Garrosh. Maiev build, they weren't really grouping all that much, so Pin Down didn't quite do its didn't have its intended effect. Other things to see here is, oh my god, it's already 3 o'clock. Yeah. And Biotic Armor, once again, I don't like seeing Biotic Armor into Tychus. Tychus is a hero who very much, for all intents and purposes, the main windows where you're wanting to protect from auto attacks as Stukov is the exact same windows where Tychus is going to be doing percent damage. So it's not ideal, especially when you have Malfail as well and a Zebo. That physical armor unfortunately won't do much into that. And sometimes it is just the way things go down. I'm going to pop myself into a channel and I'm going to message K4K and seeing if he's willing to have anyone join. When I find K4K's name, I'm muted in Discord. Nice, good for me. Whisper, any interviews? Or are you guys good at this? And let's just close that again. What? Let's hop back to the map view screen while we wait. I'll see if anyone's willing to join us. And I need to remember, before I forget, turn on the Discord audio. Just in case. We'll see, but just in case. Right. I'll just kind of keep talking as if we were going to be wrapping up here, and we'll see if anyone does decide to join us. It was a good series for what it was. There were some very close maps between the two. 1 through 3. Oh, 2 and 3 very close. 1 was a difficult one for... Oh, there we go. We have Honey Badger and K4K joining us. How are you two feeling now that that series is done?
Much better now.
How about you, Honey Badger?
Very good. Honestly, this is the team I was worried about.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why is that? Just because you played so much, or?
I know. We kind of know how each other play. We've played a lot, and I think I've like watching, all of their games this season. I think they've been a really well-organized team and a well-oiled machine when they're playing.
Yeah, that's entirely fair, because it did seem like a lot of the time it was very even in most of the games up until we got to that late game. In saying that, that first map felt very practiced for you all. It did feel like Towers of Doom is comfortable, and even K4K is like, oh hell yeah, we're going straight to this. When we were doing coin toss via draft pick stuff, is that just such a comfortable wheelhouse map for you at this point? Because I can see the 2-lane maps are banned out a lot.
That is probably our best map. So them giving it to us, that's why I was like, a draft, like, oh, okay, cool. I know last time we played them week 1, they beat us, but we just weren't together fully as a team.
And before I forget to ask about it as well, the bans are always the same two here, basically the same two heroes of Anduin and Stitches. Is that just comfort picks for your players, or is it something that has just kind of screwed them over multiple times?
So, as a Gary main, Stitches takes away what Gary wants, so they know that if they want Gary, then I'm gonna go Stitches, because that is like the meanest counter to Gary, because you take away Gary's kit to start the fight. So if I see them banning Stitches, I know they're gonna take Gary. And then Andy also is Gary's kryptonite for some. I don't agree with it, but I think you're trading a 70-second pull for a 13-second or 16-second toss isn't necessarily a counter. But that's and light bomb's real good. So that's one of Lag's mains. So like that's the usual bans that we see.
Yeah. As well as we actually saw you guys banning out Hammer a fair amount. I didn't see that too much when I was doing my quick, oh god, I need to see what these team do scout. But is that something that Habitual line has kind of been getting comfortable with, or is it just something that you guys hate going into?
I noticed that they were playing a lot on Infernal Shrines, and I let our drafter know, like, hey, they've been playing the Sun Shrines, just to give you a heads up. They might try it, on the other maps too.
And she's one of the most annoying characters to play into.
There it is. The tank player has chimed in. I was waiting for that. I'm like, let's see what the tank says. There it is.
I just hate playing into it. Then you gotta go like Ghoul Dan to like poke her out, or it's just so annoying.
Yeah. Map number 2, Volskaya. That one. Why was that top objective ignored for 20 minutes? I do have to ask. Like, did you guys just forget it?
Call, I think maybe
the call. Like, I wasn't worried about it too much, honestly. We thought about playing it safe near the end and like someone staying on it while the rest pushed to get that last tower, but then we got the kill on Chromie, and then we got the kill on, who was it, Leo? And so we were like, no, now we're still 5 against 3. If they come up, we can win this game if we just push.
And do you feel that kind of last push was just a bit too hesitant? Because it seemed like you guys were in such a good position, and then just kind of all fell apart. What was kind of happening in the comms at that point?
Well, I, as Joe, put myself more towards the stairs to try to stall for the team to do the rest of the core. But then we leaped, and I think 2 of us went for, like, Sonya and me on it. We're not, meaning, like, so much less damage on the core would lost us that game.
So I'm just trying to...
I think it was just, I think the comms went a little bad, and then we just didn't focus the core hard enough.
100% agreed with you.
Yeah. And when they did have 20's first that map, were you kind of surprised they didn't try get more aggressive, considering you guys were down still, like, basically at the beginning of 18s? Was there any major concern at that time that they would just live up to your name and get aggressive?
Yes. I thought, like, we were like, we're gonna just wait for their lanes to push in and soak, because we need 20, because it's not fun right now. We're down way too much. But I was really surprised they didn't push in hard.
And now I'm going to move into Dragonshy, and I do just kind of want to ask this now. Does Sunraku just like these weird heroes that just come out? Because we did see a Zero twice. We saw a Zeratul, which isn't exactly the most common in most situations. And we even did see a more standard one of Vala come out. But are they just liking these stranger heroes? Or is it just they pick up anything they want and you're like, well, they seem to do well in it, go ahead?
We have a motto on our team, and it's called Flex and Trust. So he was all like, let me do this, and we just were like, alright, but yes, he also does like those weird heroes.
Oh, God.
He's asked for Maiev a few times now, and I'm like, no, we haven't practiced.
Maiev, no. Yeah, because Zeratul is absolutely a scary one, but it does kind of leave you guys a bit more vulnerable in a free fall, man. Were you expecting that bottom lane to go as well as it did, considering it was
absolutely
3v4?
No.
Oh.
No, not at all. I mean, Gary's my best tank, so I get to play it. I can usually sustain pretty well on him, but going against the comp, it was scary because the only person they were giving me to toss was Peldor on Joe, but they were getting everything everywhere else, and they were like, you guys are totally fine bottom, you're doing great.
Meanwhile, you're just crying.
Yeah, I was just like crying in the shower, like, this is terrible.
Life sucks, fetal position in the corner.
They're just like, you guys are doing fine, we're winning everywhere else, so you guys are doing great down there, and we're like, we're not winning. This is scary at all. I don't feel like we're winning down here.
There's a few times like, no, you can switch places with me. Yeah, we'll see how fun it is.
That's how I feel like every time I've lost my tag. I'm like, I fucking hate this. Why do people enjoy this? But that was the first map you guys didn't ban Dahaka, and it was picked up that time. Were you very much going, it's probably going to get picked, but we're going to get the two heroes we want?
Yeah.
We were hoping to get the Dahaka, yeah.
But you were hoping to get the Dahaka?
We were like, so we decided we either get Dahaka or we get the Gary, and we get one other hero. I think, or we get like Anduin, right? Because they couldn't ban it all out, and we left Dahaka open. So our first choice was like, sweet, Dahaka would be awesome. Yeah. But if they take it, we still get something we can, like, we're good with. So.
Oh, fair enough. Then we get to Tomb of the Spider Queen, which was very even for a while. We once again saw the Nazir come out. And Urban Punk picking up the Malthael. I thought you guys were going to go for a kind of a Malthael double soak strat while you guys kind of get that bottom lane. Is Malthael a comfortable one for Urban Punk? Because it's definitely a stranger map to see that on.
Urban likes Malthael to a point. There's sometimes he's kind of like about it, but
okay.
Yeah, he's pretty decent on it. We just into the right comp, and when we saw Leo, Gary, we were like, and Stukov, it's like, those are pretty healthy people. Like, we already got a Tychus. Let's just front to back kill Gary when he starts to walk in. Like,
it worked.
And then I was like, I'll try to just eat the throw so I can E back.
Yeah. And was Maiev one you were expecting?
We've seen no heroes play some off the wall heroes. We always got to watch them, but we definitely knew we might see it this series. Wasn't expecting it there, but we were all a little worried about it.
I mean, that's entirely fair, because Maiev's one of those ones I feel like either does great or doesn't quite work out. And thankfully for you guys, you seem to be positioning well enough where it never really was a major concern, to say the least. But
oh yeah, when we saw the Silence and Tomb at 10, everybody just spread out the best we can to not get just totally silenced and entombed.
And it did feel like you guys were very good at communicating that positioning and making sure that only a couple of people ever caught out and not all of you. But I don't really have any more questions, so if you guys have any shout-outs you'd like to do, now's the time.
I'd like to shout out to the whole team. I've seen progress in just about everybody this season, and thanks for bearing with me, guys, with the scheduling, and let's get ready for our next game, and hopefully we win finals.
Shout out to me. I'm the best there ever was. I wake up in the morning and piss excellence. Okay.
Okay.
That's all I got. You know.
And is it
Pretty much the best.
Is there any team you're wanting to face more out of what's potentially to come than any of the others? Who would you like to see in the finals?
I'm kind of
Personally?
hoping Yavapai takes it, but
Yeah, I'm also
My
kind of going for
opinion?
Yavapai.
Is it just like a more favorable matchup? Do you like the team more? Kind of what is it that makes you want to go into them?
their draft is usually different than most teams, and it's just different and more fun to kind of play into, at least for me.
Okay.
Their wacky drafts and shenanigans they try doing.
Right on. But no, thank you so much for your time, you guys. It was a very fun series to watch, and I'm very much looking forward to see how the finals go at this point. Good luck for it.
Thank you.
And go back, celebrate with your team. Have a good rest of your evening.
You too.
You too. Thanks for the cast.
No worries. Right, chat, that's really kind of just gonna be it. I'm gonna go back to my... I was gonna say wonderful, average face. Hell of a series to watch, to say the least. I enjoyed that one thoroughly. It was a fun one to cast. Yeah, between the maps that we saw, it was very even for a lot of it. That, excluding the, very first map of Towers of Doom, not quite even. We did see that it was a really close game. Maps 2, 3, 4 started out pretty even, but then as we got towards the end, did really start to crumble. And yeah, that macro game and that was pretty good between both teams, but the brawling was a bit better for really Aggro Ghoul elites. So congratulations to them, and still very well played by Habitual Lion Steppers. You like feel good about how you did that. Honestly, it was a good one either way. I'm gonna be wrapping up here though. It's gonna be me. I'm gonna be, hopefully, if permissions are fixed, raiding over to a good friend Alicia, who looks like she's gonna be doing some custom ARMs, because I don't see anyone else NGS related casting at the moment. Someone can tell me if there's anyone now. Now would be the time. But I don't think I see anyone till at least tomorrow, which looks like it will be Division A on Tokibi stream. So always go... Oh, actually, no, it's 2 days away from now. There's nothing tomorrow. So I'm not definitely casting tomorrow either. So that'll be it for me. To everyone, thank you so much for watching. I have been your host, V-Line Bus. Will I do more NGS casting? Hopefully. I really should, because I do enjoy it. But I hope everyone's have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world, because time zones, well, they're a bit dang strange, aren't they? But I'll see you all in the Nexus. Goodbye for now, at least, and hopefully see you all again pretty dang soon.